Welcome to Mind Set in Stone podcasts, where we dive deep into the most compelling books on the shelf. Join hosts Dave and Poppy as they uncover the stories, themes, and ideas that shape our understanding and inspire curiosity. Get ready to explore the big ideas that leave a lasting impact. Let's get started.
Welcome to the Mind Set in Stone podcast. Today we're embarking on a deep dive into a topic that really at its core touches every single one of us. It's about those often unspoken beliefs, those deeply ingrained self-imposed limitations that can stop us from living the vibrant, joyful, productive lives we often dream about. Okay, let's unpack this. Our mission today is to explore a really powerful, transformative book, Girl, Wash Your Face, by Rachel Hollis. And this isn't just like a collection of feel-good stories. It's a bold challenge. Hollis really urges us to confront the beliefs and the narratives we've let dictate our paths and, well, ultimately our happiness. It's about taking a hard, honest look in the mirror, metaphorically speaking, and really identifying what's standing in our way.
Yeah, and what's truly fascinating here, and what Hollis just masterfully distills, is this complex idea into one central, undeniable truth. It's really the bedrock of her whole philosophy. She says, you, and only you, are ultimately responsible for who you become and how happy you are. And to truly grasp that, to really embody it, Hollis says our first most crucial step has to be identifying and systematically dismantling every single hurtful lie we've allowed ourselves to believe. And these aren't minor things. They're pervasive, often unconscious narratives that just silently erode our potential. They stifle our growth and, keep us from stepping into the expansive, intentional life we're actually capable of creating. So this deep dive, it's going to be a journey through some of the most common and, frankly, most damaging of these self-deceptions. And we'll pair them with practical, actionable strategies inspired directly by Hollis's own raw experiences and candid insights. It's all designed to help you reclaim your power and steer your life with, deliberate intention.
And I think what makes her approach so impactful is exactly that relatability. She doesn't just preach from, up high. She shares her own messy process, her stumbles, her triumphs. It makes it clear she's kind of on this journey with us. She learned these lessons the hard way, and she's offering us a bit of a shortcut to understanding them. So let's jump into the very first of these lies. One I suspect almost everyone listening can instantly identify with, maybe with a little cringe of recognition. Here's where it gets really interesting. The lie. I'll start tomorrow. Rachel Hollis is incredibly open, almost disarmingly so, about her own history with this particular brand of self-sabotage. She confesses to, countless diets she'd started, only to abandon them days later. Gym sessions enthusiastically planned, then blown off. She even signed up and paid for 2 half marathons, and then never actually trained for them. And then there's the almost comical infinity of morning walks that, despite her best intentions, never made it past day 3. The core issue here, as she points out so sharply, is that we consistently treat commitments to ourselves with way less respect, less seriousness, than commitments we make to others. Like, you'd never bail on a friend with a lame excuse, but we do it to ourselves all the time, right? Without a second thought.
That's precisely it. And it's a deeply insidious pattern, isn't it? Hollis uses this powerful, flaky friend analogy that really hits home. Think about it. How would you see a friend who constantly bails, always has an excuse, never follows through? You wouldn't respect them, would you? You wouldn't count on them. You certainly wouldn't trust them. Well, what's really insidious and what we often miss is that our own subconscious applies that exact same distrust, that lack of respect, directly to ourselves. Every single time we make and break a promise to ourselves, gym, diet, creative dream, whatever, our brain records it. And over time, this pattern erodes our internal belief in our own reliability. It's like a cognitive habit. Your brain starts to expect you not to follow through, which makes it so much harder to even start next time because you're fighting this ingrained expectation of failure inside yourself. When you keep doing this, you're not really making promises anymore. You're just, talking, as she puts it, and your inner self just stops listening. This pattern chips away at our belief in our capabilities, reinforces complacency, and teaches us our own word holds little power. It makes it incredibly difficult to break free.
That flaky friend idea really lands, doesn't it? It forces you to confront how subtly we undermine our own self-worth. But beyond the analogy, what's the real psychological cost of this constant self-betrayal? Are there compounding effects? Does it get harder to break free the longer it goes on?
Oh, absolutely. The psychological cost is significant and, often underestimated. Each broken promise creates what you could call a self-defeating data point. That internal narrative, that voice in your head, it collects these points. And eventually it compiles a story. You can't be trusted. You always quit. Why even bother trying? This belief system becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The longer it persists, the deeper those neural pathways get grooved, making it feel almost impossible to start new positive behaviors. It's not just about willpower, it's about fundamentally shifting an internal identity you've kind of accidentally built. But Rachel's journey offers a really powerful blueprint for starting to rewrite that story. She shares this dramatic turning point. It really illustrates how to break this cycle and rebuild self-trust. It all started with her daily Diet Coke addiction. She calls it her great white whale. For years, she literally looked forward to that one can a day, this little moment of joy she, convinced herself she needed. Then persistent vertigo led her to try cutting out anything potentially harmful, and even the sacred Diet Coke came into question. Her first thought was, what kind of sicko gives up Diet Coke? Are we supposed to just give up joy? It felt like a personal attack on her happiness. But, driven by her health issues, she made this seemingly small yet, monumental decision. Give it up for just 1 month. Despite a history of quitting everything else, she decided to really see this one commitment through, no matter what, that first week. She admits it was a special kind of hell. Intense cravings, headaches, just a profound sense of deprivation. But she persevered, white-knuckling it through each day. By week 3, something remarkable happened. The cravings were gone. And now it's been, 4 years since that initial month, and it doesn't even occur to her to drink it. Her realization was profound. This small victory, this single promise kept, was the undeniable proof she needed. It was the foundation for achieving much bigger goals, like running marathons, writing books. It was the moment she understood she could keep a promise to herself. And that tiny spark ignited this, wildfire of self-belief.
Wow. It's incredible how something seemingly so small like breaking a Diet Coke habit can become this foundational block for huge aspirations. I find myself wondering, though, is it the size of the victory that matters most? Or is it just the act of keeping a promise to yourself, no matter how small?
It's absolutely the act of keeping the promise, regardless of scale. That's where the transformative power lies. And the genius of starting small is that it minimizes that initial resistance, right? And it maximizes the probability of success. That's how you rewire that internal flaky friend narrative. This small win offers really practical takeaways for anyone looking to build self-trust. First, inspired by Hollis, start with one small, almost laughably achievable goal. The genius isn't just picking something easy, it's setting a target so manageable that you consistently succeed. Think about it. If you've repeatedly failed at big overhauls marathon from scratch, cutting all sugar, your subconscious associates self-commitments with failure. This strategy is about actively rewiring that pattern. Rachel suggests something like aiming to drink half your body weight in ounces of water daily. Sounds simple, right? But for someone who habitually breaks promises to themselves, hitting that target for a week, then 2, then a month, it creates a powerful new neural pathway. It's not just about hydration, it's about building this tiny, undeniable track record of keeping your word to yourself. Slowly chipping away at that flaky friend idea and replacing it with genuine self-trust builds the mental muscle without overwhelming it.
That makes perfect sense. Building confidence through those small, consistent wins. Yeah.
Precisely. Second takeaway, be incredibly careful with your commitments. Hollis urges us to slow down your yes. In our fast-paced world, there's this impulse to say yes to everything, every opportunity, request, new idea, but overcommitting and then failing to follow through just sets you up for more self-betrayal, reinforcing that cycle of self-distrust. Instead, just pause, reflect. Only commit to things that are genuinely incredibly important to you, things that align with your deepest values and goals, and things you realistically believe you can do given your current resources and time. Saying no to things that don't serve you, that's a powerful act of self-respect. And third, this is crucial, be rigorously honest with yourself. Take a hard, unvarnished look at what you've canceled on, postponed, or just blown off in the last 30 days. Don't judge yourself, just observe. Acknowledge these actions to understand the patterns you're, inadvertently training yourself into. This self-awareness isn't about shame. It's the essential first step toward consciously choosing different, more empowering behaviors. Seeing the truth so you can forge new habits.
Okay, so from those external battles like procrastination and broken promises, we often find ourselves wrestling with something much deeper, more insidious internally. The lie that says, I'm not good enough. Rachel introduces this one with a very raw personal confession. I am a recovering workaholic. She describes this intense, almost relentless compulsion to work excessively, a drive she later found was deeply rooted in a childhood belief. Growing up, she felt pretty much ignored unless she did something good, got an A, scored a goal, achieved something tangible. This created a really profound internal equation for her. Achievement equals love. And this belief created a severe clash in her adult life. She genuinely loved her job, right? She was incredibly proud of building her media company, excelled at work, found validation there. But at home, The picture was starkly different. Kids fighting, missing school events, snapping at her husband, sometimes just breaking down, sobbing over like prepackaged lunches, hands of home.
Right. And what's profoundly significant here is how often our bodies act as messengers, don't they? Telling us exactly what they need when we persistently ignore emotional and mental stress. Hollis shares a striking, almost alarming example of this. It highlights how the physical body can be a direct channel for deeper emotional problems we're maybe unwilling or unable to confront. She experienced facial paralysis Bell's palsy. It's a temporary condition, causes weakness on one side of the face, often brought on by viruses or, critically, extreme stress. She had it not once but twice. First time at 19, triggered by extreme relationship stress with her now husband Dave. Second time at 24, while deep in the high-stress launch of a business. Both were periods of immense anxiety where, instead of dealing with the emotional stuff, she just doubled down at work, pushed harder, convinced more activity would fix it. Later, she battled persistent, debilitating vertigo for over a year, dizzy spells, imbalanced despite being a marathon runner and healthy eater, saw countless doctors, internists, allergists, ENTs. Nobody could find a physical cause. It was a homeopathic doctor, described with this enduring quirkiness, who gave the shocking but accurate diagnosis. Her vertigo was, quote, a physical response to an emotional problem. Every single instance, he noted, tied back to extreme work stress or overwhelming anxiety about her career and finances. Her body literally shut down to demand the rest and emotional processing she wasn't giving it. It really raises an important, deeply personal question for all of us, doesn't it? What messages is your body trying to send you right now that you might be ignoring?
That's such a stark reminder, almost frightening, really, that we can't just power through indefinitely. Our bodies will demand attention, often dramatically, if we don't listen to the quieter signals. So in response to this realization, this ultimatum from her own body, the homeopathic doctor gave Rachel some drastically simple yet terrifying advice. Go home and do nothing. She vividly recalls her initial panic, this visceral anxiety at the mere thought of stillness. Admits the idea made her skin crawl. Her instinct was always to be moving, organizing, cleaning, diving into projects, anything to feel productive. But she forced herself to make drastic life changes. She cut her work hours, going from relentless to a more contained 9:30 to 4:30. And, to her amazement, the world kept spinning. Imagine that. She began what she calls hustling for joy, intentionally seeking activities purely for fun and relaxation. This meant taking hip-hop dance classes. She admitted she was terrible but loved it, volunteering, actively seeking moments of genuine fun and peace. This forced reevaluation led her to a pivotal understanding. She was loved and worthy as she was, regardless of accomplishments, output, or productivity. Her inherent worth wasn't tied to achievements.
Mm-hmm. And her journey through that provides incredibly critical, practical takeaways for anyone struggling with inadequacy, the compulsion to overwork, or that nagging feeling of never being enough. Firstly, Rachel emphatically recommends going to therapy. She calls it the first thing she'd pay for every woman if she had Beyoncé's money. That really underscores its value. Therapy helped her uncover that deep, often unconscious link between her childhood insecurities needing to produce something to earn love and her adult drive for accomplishment. It let her see how this drive, while leading to success, could also be incredibly harmful to her health, her well-being, her family relationships. Therapy offers that safe, guided space to unpack and rewire those old narratives.
That's a powerful endorsement for getting professional help. It really can make such a difference.
Absolutely. Secondly, she advises us to actively hustle for joy. This isn't just about occasional fun. It's about intentionally working as hard for fun, relaxation, and genuine laugh-out-loud moments as you do for your career or other duties. This means carving out non-negotiable time for things that genuinely light you up. Walks in nature, long phone calls with friends, a luxurious bubble bath, and unhurried lunch. These moments aren't frivolous luxuries. They are essential for recharging your physical and emotional batteries, fostering creativity, and maintaining the energy needed for a demanding life. They're proactive self-care. Thirdly, she stresses reordering your priority list and critically putting yourself first. Most women, if you ask them, can list their priorities: kids, partner, work, faith, community. Very few include themselves near the top. Hollis stresses you must ensure you're getting enough sleep, water, proper nutrition, because you simply cannot effectively care for others, pour into relationships, or contribute meaningfully if you're neglecting your own fundamental well-being. Prioritizing yourself isn't selfish. It's a prerequisite for truly thriving and showing up as your best self for everyone and everything else.
Those insights are so vital, especially today when the world constantly tells us to push harder, do more, sacrifice ourselves. It's a powerful message that self-care isn't just bubble baths. It's acknowledging our worth and creating a sustainable way of living. Okay, let's turn now to another widespread lie. one particularly burdensome for parents, especially mothers. I'm not a good mom. Rachel shares a really heart-wrenching anecdote about her 7-year-old son. He looked at her across a bowl of Cheerios with that unfiltered honesty only kids have and said, "Mom, you need one of those necklaces with our initials on them. All the moms at my school have them. You need to get one too, so you can finally be like all the other moms." Oof. That word "finally" just crushed her. It hit deep because she was already keenly aware of how different she felt. She recalled being the school volunteer, showing up in heels and a blazer amidst the modeling clay, always rushing off to a meeting, feeling out of place. She felt the pressure of the mythical other mom, that impossibly perfect figure who manages every school event, sews organic outfits, bakes non-GMO gingerbread kits, and balances it all with a serene smile. That feeling of not measuring up can be incredibly isolating.
It's a feeling that resonates so deeply, particularly with mothers, because it taps into this potent mix of love, responsibility, and societal expectation. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this lie is heavily exacerbated by the relentless pressure of social media.
Right.
We're constantly bombarded with these curated images of perfect mothers, picture-worthy family lives, creating this utterly impossible, often performative, Pinterest-worthy standard. Rachel's response to her son's comment and this pervasive pressure was this powerful, liberating decision. I'm over it. She chose to gracefully do her best, accept imperfection as part of the journey, and focus squarely on what truly mattered to her family's unique dynamic, not chasing external validation. This shift also led her to ask herself a profound question, inspired by her personal trainer. Would you ever feed your child the food you feed yourself? It forced her to reflect on how meticulously she cared for her kids versus the often haphazard, neglectful way she treated her own body and soul. It highlights that hypocrisy we often live, prioritizing everyone else's well-being over our own, which ultimately says a lot about our underlying sense of self-worth.
Yeah, that question about feeding her child the food she feeds herself is incredibly impactful. Forces you to confront how you really treat yourself. Rachel really underscores the immense freedom that comes from letting go of that crippling comparison. She openly states, there is no one way to be a mother. Her house, for instance, thrives on sarcasm and wit, something she and her husband admire in their boys. Other homes might prioritize strict manners. She also shares, with refreshing honesty, that she personally hates organized sports, finds them incredibly boring, even though she loves her kids fiercely. Her husband, though, absolutely loves them, cherishes watching their sons play. This highlights that different joys, different interests, different parenting approaches are perfectly okay, even desirable. What works for one family won't necessarily work for another, and that's not failure, it's just diversity. It's about being authentic to yourself, your strengths, your family's unique dynamic, not trying to fit some mold that was never meant for you.
Exactly. And that embracing of individuality, rejecting the mythical perfect mom, leads to some really practical strategies for combating mom guilt. First, look at the evidence. Instead of obsessing over perceived failures or what you think you're doing wrong based on comparing yourself, objectively observe your children. Are they kind? Generally get good grades? Do they come to you when they're hurt or scared? Do you have a strong bond? If the answers are yes, then guess what? You are doing a great job. This objective evidence helps you cut yourself some slack and silence that inner critic. Ground yourself in reality, not manufactured ideals. Second, make friends with the other moms. Break down those walls of comparison and isolation. Rachel suggests that even the seemingly perfect moms are often just as worried about screwing up, just as exhausted, just as uncertain as you are. Seeking out that shared humanity, vulnerability, solidarity can be incredibly validating. It fosters genuine connections, turns potential competitors into allies, much more enriching than isolation. And third, focus on quality time. When those feelings of not enough creep in, prioritize undistracted, truly present moments. Reading together for 10 minutes, playing a board game, a special movie date, cooking together, these focused interactions where your full attention is on them are key to feeling content, connected, and confident. It's not about quantity, but the quality of your presence.
Focus on quality time. That really resonates, especially when life feels so fragmented. Presence over quantity. That's a powerful antidote to guilt. Okay, let's shift gears now to a lie that challenges our resilience, our determination, and ultimately the pursuit of our biggest dreams. No is the final answer. Rachel Hollis boldly proclaims herself an expert in rejection, or maybe more accurately, an expert in bouncing back from rejection and fighting my way toward my goal. This isn't just a catchy phrase. It's a philosophy born from experience. She often gets asked by college students, eager and wide-eyed, what's the one thing that truly gives you an advantage? And her answer is always straightforward, unwavering. I am successful because I refuse to take no for an answer. Now, this isn't about being arrogant or pushy. It's about a fierce belief in her own vision and the relentless drive to see it through, regardless of external validation or setbacks. Being the ultimate steward of your own aspirations.
That concept of unwavering belief is so crucial. And what's truly fascinating here is Hollis's powerful reframing of the word no. She doesn't see no as this definitive stop sign that ends your journey, sends you home defeated. Instead, she teaches us to see it as maybe a detour sign, a yield sign, or even just a suggestion to pause. It's an invitation to slow down, reevaluate where you are, and creatively find alternate routes, different strategies, innovative solutions to reach your destination. This perspective shift is absolutely critical because so many people abandon their dreams for really common reasons. Maybe a voice of authority, boss, parent, spouse tells them they're not right for it, or negative self-talk whispers doubts, or an entire industry says they don't fit the mold, their idea isn't viable, they lack experience. These external and internal no's often become this insidious permission slip to quit. And when we're already scared, second-guessing ourselves, facing obstacles, it's incredibly easy to give in to that perceived finality of no, no. But Hollis challenges us to revoke that permission to see no not as an endpoint, but as a challenge to innovate.
And she certainly walks that talk with her own incredibly personal journey to becoming an author. For years, she had this burning dream of being an author. And like many aspiring writers, she started, get this, approximately 73 manuscripts, but never finished one. That sheer volume speaks volumes, right? When a literary agent finally approached her, she pitched her passion project, a historical fiction meets time travel book. The agent politely said, not her style. Undeterred, the agent suggested nonfiction, given Rachel's background. But Rachel was determined to write her fiction. So she took the agent's general advice, wrote a different novel, a roman à clef, where real people are fictionalized. After pouring her heart into finishing it, her agent sent it to every major publisher in New York. The feedback. Devastatingly consistent. It's too sweet. This was during the 50 Shades of Grey craze, and publishers wanted steam, explicit content. She politely but firmly declined. One after another, every single publisher turned it down. She recalls locking herself in the bathroom, sobbing ugly tears, genuinely believing her dreams were crushed. But after allowing herself that moment of devastation, she dried her tears, poured a glass of wine, well-deserved, I'd say, and with this sudden surge of defiance, immediately Googled, how do you self-publish a book? In February 2014, she self-published Party Girl, a sweet, naive, virginal love story. It sold maybe 50 copies that first weekend, but slowly, organically, it grew. 6 months later, a major publisher called wanting to buy it and offering a multi-book deal. Her initial vision was right all along. She just needed to find that alternate, unconventional path.
Her story isn't just an anecdote, is it? It's a powerful testament to the absolute necessity of personal ownership of your dreams. As Hollis wisely says, it's not about the goal or the dream you have. It's about who you become on your way to that goal. Meaning, the journey itself, the resilience built, character forged, lessons learned, and ingenuity demanded is as valuable, maybe more so, than the ultimate achievement. She also offers a stark yet liberating truth. Nobody will ever care about your dream as much as you do, ever. This applies even to the most loving family and friends. They might cheer you on, but they won't share that same internal fire, that relentless drive, endure the same sleepless nights. You are the steward of your own dreams, and if you genuinely want to see them happen, you have to internalize that. Ultimately, no one else will help you achieve them with the same intensity and commitment as you. Recognizing that isn't a burden, it's empowering. It frees you to take full responsibility and persist, even when it feels like you're fighting alone.
That's such a crucial mindset shift. Realizing your dreams are your responsibility, and that's not lonely. It's a powerful privilege. So what are the actionable takeaways from Rachel's experience with no as the final answer? How do we put that into practice?
Okay, 3 key things stand out. First takeaway is to cultivate audacity. Hollis believes we could all use a healthy dose of it. This isn't about arrogance, remember. It's about maintaining this unwavering, almost audacious belief in your goal and your path, regardless of what others, even experts, tell you. Keep your eyes fixed on your outcome. Understand that external no's often reflect their limitations, not necessarily yours. Have the courage to say, I hear you, but my conviction is stronger. Secondly, when you do hear no, use it as a clear sign to actively explore alternate paths. Don't harass people, don't demand, but creatively seek different routes, innovative solutions. If one door closes, the audacious person doesn't give up. They look for a window, scout a back alley, maybe even build a new door. This could mean getting new skills, finding different mentors, exploring niche markets, adapting your approach while keeping your core vision. And third, a practice Rachel consistently emphasizes. Keep your goals in plain sight. Write them down specifically. Create visual reminders, magazine covers, dream home photos, inspiring quotes, tape them where you'll see them daily. Bathroom mirror, desk, fridge. This simple practice helps maintain focus and reignite motivation, especially when that initial excitement fades and discouragement creeps in. It keeps your dreams tangible, present, a constant beacon.
Those are powerful tools for staying resilient and focused when facing rejection, turning those obstacles into opportunities. Great stuff. Now let's tackle a more subtle yet equally pervasive lie. I need to make myself smaller. Rachel Hollis shares this really impactful, unplanned moment from a conference. The speaker asked a question that just cut straight to the core. Who did you have to be for them? Referring to the people you wanted love or acceptance from. Without thinking, Rachel's raw, unplanned answer was just small. This instantly connected to her childhood. She recalled her father's comment, "little girl," often used like an expletive, implying she had no clue would be eaten alive by the real world. She also recalled feeling this need to be seen and not heard unless she was achieving something, echoing that achievement equals love narrative again. In her adult life, this ingrained belief subtly translated into habitually downplaying her accomplishments. Like instead of proudly saying she built a multi-million-dollar media company, managed a staff, served millions, she'd dismissively say, "Oh, I have a lifestyle blog." It felt boastful, almost arrogant, to acknowledge her true impact, as if her success might make others uncomfortable or draw unwanted attention, making herself small.
And this phenomenon of self-minimization, as Rachel observed, leads to deeply missed opportunities, a profound sense of inauthenticity, and ultimately denying your full potential. She realized she was subconsciously turning down large opportunities for her company, often due to this unspoken, ingrained fear of failure or the belief she wasn't truly smart enough or qualified enough. She also highlighted this widespread thing she saw among other women, successful entrepreneurs calling their thriving businesses mere hobbies just to make others comfortable, avoid seeming too ambitious, or ward off judgment. This raises a really important, poignant question for all of us. Are we, by making ourselves smaller, consciously or unconsciously, denying our true selves, the unique, powerful individuals our Creator made us to be, all for fear of what others might think? Are we sacrificing our potential to fit into boxes, dimming our own light so others don't feel intimidated? This unconscious self-sabotage prevents us from fully stepping into our power and purpose, diminishing not only our lives but also the impact we could have.
It's astonishing how deep this self-minimization can run, and how many capable women fall into this trap without even realizing it. Rachel shares this pivotal mindset shift that came from thinking about her daughter's future. She made a fearful, non-negotiable decision. She refuses to teach her daughter this diminishing narrative. She won't consent to the belief that a mother's career dictates her love, or that women's options are limited while men's are endless. She points out that stark double standard. Her husband, successful man, has never one time been asked if he feels guilty for having a job. That clear disparity, this societal expectation on women, fueled her resolve to break free. She believes, with unwavering conviction, that her daughter and all women are fearfully and wonderfully made, with unique dreams, boundless capabilities, individual callings that demand full expression. Her powerful conclusion to this lie is direct, almost confrontational. You are not made to be small. You are not a little girl. You are a grown woman, and it's time you grew up. It's this urgent, profound call to embrace your full, authentic, magnificent self without apology.
Yes. That call to embrace your full self, shed that skin of smallness, leads to incredibly practical, empowering takeaways. First, make a bold statement. This isn't necessarily about grand public gestures, although it could be, like Rachel's tattoo, a permanent reminder. It's more fundamentally about consciously choosing your persona, your identity, and embracing it fully every single day. You decide who you are, how you show up, what you stand for. Own your choices, successes, dreams without apology or qualification. Actively declare your identity internally and externally rather than passively letting others or old narratives define you. It's an act of self-authorship. Second, and closely related, name your dreams aloud. Overcome that pervasive hesitation to admit your biggest, most audacious dreams. That hesitation often stems from fear of judgment, failure, being seen as too much. Instead of saying, "I will try to go back to school," verbalize it powerfully with conviction. "I am getting my master's in organizational psychology." This verbalization isn't just for others. It creates a profound psychological shift within you. It helps cement your commitment internally, makes dreams more tangible, real, less like a fleeting wish. Writing them down, saying them aloud, powerful acts of self-affirmation, reinforces your worthiness to pursue what lights your soul on fire, makes it harder to back down.
Those are fantastic, concrete steps toward owning your power, owning your authentic path. Really good. So we've journeyed through some incredibly pervasive self-imposed lies today, haven't we? From that insidious procrastination of "I'll start tomorrow" to the deep wound of "I'm not good enough." We've confronted the crippling burdens of "I'm not a good mom," the resilience needed when no is the final answer, and those subtle self-sabotaging ways we diminish ourselves with "I need to make myself smaller." Rachel Hollis's overarching message woven through all these lessons is profoundly simple yet utterly transformative. The power to change your life, to author your own happiness, resides solely within you. It's about taking radical, unwavering responsibility for your choices, actively choosing joy even amidst chaos, and relentlessly pursuing your dreams, even when the path is messy, uncertain, filled with rejection. Her stories, her vulnerability, her triumphs are a testament that while life will throw challenges our way, our response, our ability to fight through with intention and courage is entirely within our control.
Right. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, Hollis consistently reminds us this isn't about achieving some state of perfect, serene bliss, especially amidst life's inevitable chaos. Instead, it's about embracing the continuous, often uncomfortable process of growth and self-evolution. As she puts it so eloquently, the path through hardship or extreme trauma is one of the most difficult things a being can encounter. But make no mistake, the only way is to fight through it. She's not saying ignore the pain or just slap a smile on. She's urging us to find purpose and strength within that very pain, to understand challenges aren't roadblocks, but crucibles for transformation. Ultimately, the true goal isn't just reaching a destination or ticking off achievements. It's about who you become on your way to that goal. Every challenge overcome, rejection navigated, promise kept, courageous step taken, it all contributes irrevocably to the magnificent person you are evolving into. It's the journey of self-actualization that holds the most profound value.
That journey of becoming, that process of metamorphosis. It brings us to a final thought for you to ponder long after this deep dive ends. Rachel uses that beautiful analogy of a caterpillar fighting to break free from its chrysalis. If she didn't fight against the fear, the struggle, the seeming impossibility, we would never know how beautiful she is. She would never know that she was meant to fly. So consider a struggle you're currently facing in your own life. Maybe one that feels like an overwhelming burden, an insurmountable obstacle, a period of intense chaos. What if that very chaos, that intense pressure, that feeling of being trapped in a chrysalis, what if, when embraced and navigated with intention and fierce resolve, it's not a roadblock at all? What if it's actually the absolutely necessary transformative stage for you to become the most magnificent version of yourself, the one you were always truly meant to be? What stands out to you from this deep dive into Girl, Wash Your Face? Think about that for a while. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope it sparked something truly transformative within you.
We hope you're leaving with fresh insights and a spark of inspiration. Remember to subscribe, leave a review, and check back for more episodes as we dive into new worlds of thought, one book at a time. Until then, keep your mind set in stone and your curiosity open. This has been a Big L Riz Media podcast, where big ideas meet lasting impressions.